Let me go ahead and open up ServiceNow. In our Filter Navigator field, I'm going to type in Catalog, and as I do that, you'll notice that the list of applications and modules reduced significantly. Okay, so we're just filtering the list of applications and modules, returning only those with Catalog in the name. We can access the IT Services Catalog from the Self-Service application, and by clicking on the IT Services Catalog module, it's going to display the IT Services Catalog homepage. Under the Service Catalog application, clicking on Catalog will do the exact same thing. As I mentioned, this Open Records is basically an application subheader. Expanding that is going to display our Requests module, which is going to give us a list of all active requests. Our Items module is going to display a list of all active requested items. And our Task module is going to display a list of all active catalog tasks. So I'm going to click on the Catalog module. It's going to take me into the IT Services Catalog homepage. Okay. And I'm going to scroll down to Purchase Request. Once I click on the Purchase Request category, it's going to display these related categories associated with Purchase Request. So if I need to initiate an HHS 22 transfer of asset record, I'm moving an asset from the Iowa warehouse to the Virginia warehouse, I'm going to left click and I'm going to select Transfer Assets. This is going to display the HHS 22 Transfer of Asset form. Okay. You'll select the applicable request year, complete your mandatory fields, and then you would click on Save to initiate the HHS 22 process. For this process, you would have to select the applicable asset that you're transferring, and then you would request approval, and at that point, it goes through an approval process where the GTL will come in and review that transfer of asset. Okay. If you need to order any hardware, software, maintenance contract, or SSL cert, or if you have an item that you need and it doesn't fall into any one of these categories, you would just select this non-standard purchase request option. Click on non-standard purchase request, and it's going to take you into the non-standard purchase request item form. Okay, as you can see, there's a lot of different mandatory fields here that we need to complete. Okay, so I'm going to back up. I'm going to click on hardware. And under the hardware category, we've got even more related categories associated with hardware. So if I need any type of peripherals, a mouse, it's going to be under hardware accessories. If I need a laptop, I'm going to go under laptop, and it's going to give me a list of all the available laptops that I can choose from to order. Okay. I'm going to back up, and I need a mouse. I want an optical mouse. So I'm going to click on hardware accessories, scroll down to the item section, and locate mouse. Got two options to choose from. I think I'll just do this Logitech optical USB mouse. It's cheaper. Upon clicking on the applicable item, that item form is going to be displayed. You'll notice that our requested for email fields are automatically going to populate the name of the current logged in user. And you can change this. So if I'm requesting this for George Jefferson, I'll enter in George Jefferson, and you'll notice that it automatically populates George's email address into the requested for email field here. Our point of contact user is also going to default to the current logged in user. So if you're submitting this on behalf of someone and you want to remain the point of contact user, or if they specify a POC user, you can modify this field and update it as necessary. You'll notice a few fields with a red asterisk. Those are your mandatory fields, and you must complete the mandatory fields before you're going to be able to order the item. So under the quantity, I only need one mouse for George. Under the contract number cost center field, if you happen to know the particular cost center number, you can start typing it in. And if it's in the system, ServiceNow is going to display it right below. Okay. If you don't know the contract number and you know the company name, you can type in the company name. Or if you happen to know the site ID, you can type in the site ID as well. Okay. If you're unsure of the cost center, again, this magnifying glass indicates a reference field, so it's referencing information in another table. Our contract number field is referencing a listing of all the cost center records in the cost center table. From any list, you can perform this go-to search using these column headers that are visible. So we can search directly for company, so I can do my wildcard asterisk search, type in Actio, hit enter, and it's going to return all those results where company name contains Actio. Filter is here as well. Okay, as I mentioned, you can filter from both areas. Okay, you need to remove a filter. Click on the greater than symbol to remove that condition. I mentioned you can also search by site code. So I don't know the exact site code, but I know that with my asterisk, with that wildcard search, I can do a contain search. So I'm going to do asterisk, and I know Ashburn is in the name. Okay, Ventec Ashburn. You're going to click on the applicable cost center contract number, and if we've got the site code, billing location, even the signature authority, if we've got that value on our cost center record, that's where we're pulling these values from. Okay. For this one, I'm actually going to change it to ActioNet so that our cost center value actually displays. Okay, so you can see we hover over that information icon. We're pulling that information directly from the cost center record. Okay. For all ERB requests, you will need to provide a justification. Old mouse is broken, need a replacement. Okay. When you're done completing all the applicable and mandatory fields, you're going to click on Order Now to order the item. It's going to take us to the order status page, where we've got the date and time our order was placed. We've got our REQ number, basically our order number. And as I mentioned in the PowerPoint, you can click on this arrow to expand the stage so that you can see exactly where your request is in the fulfillment process. Right now, we're waiting for approval. When that's done, we're going to be awaiting purchase. When that's done, we're going to receive an email notification that our request has been completed and when to expect our item. We can click on the request link, and this is going to take us into the request form. Okay. You'll notice that the request form, it looks a little bit different than what we saw in the PowerPoint because there's going to be more work that takes place at the request level for purchase request for the different approvers and as well as for the procurement team. So you're not going to see contract number, requester, internal PO, contracting officer, purchase quantity, take from stock. You won't see these fields on any other catalog item form except the purchase request forms as you're about to see as we step through another one. Okay. As I mentioned, if you need to see the status of your request, you can do it from the order status stage field, or on the request form, you'll scroll down to the requested item related list, expand the stage, and you can view the stage from the requested item as well. From our approvers related list, we can see that we've got one approver, and this item is currently being requested. The other cool thing that you can do is you can click on this show workflow related link, and it's going to show you the workflow that's associated with this purchase request that's running behind the scenes. So ServiceNow has created our purchase request record. Now we're at our signature authority to approve the request. Once he's done, our purchasing manager is going to receive an email notification for approval. When he's done, the GTL will receive an email notification for approval. When he's done, he's either going to specify a contracting officer or he's going to go ahead and approve the request on behalf of the contracting officer. And now we're going to kick off the fulfillment process. Okay? So I'm going to do a little bit of magic here. I'm going to impersonate Kurt so that you can see what's going to happen from Kurt's perspective. Let me go into here, and let me see. Okay, so this is an example of the approval notification that's going to get triggered for our first signature authority approver. So Kurt's going to get this email notification. He's going to see any short description that we entered. It's requested for George, requested by this user. This is the price. This is the summary of the items being ordered. Okay, justification, no problem there. So at this point, Kurt can either click here to approve. If he does, it's going to open up an email body where he'll type approved. Once he clicks on send, it's going to send the email notification to ServiceNow, and ServiceNow is going to automatically update that request record. How does it know to do that? It uses this watermark right here. We call this a watermark. And it uses this to associate, behind the scenes, there's some code that tells this notification match this watermark with a line of code in the request. And when you receive a response, sync that response up with this request and update the activity log in the request, okay? So once Kurt does that, ServiceNow is automatically going to set the state of that approval to approved, and then it's going to kick off the next series of approvers in that workflow. So our purchasing manager would approve next, okay? The second thing that Kurt can do is he can navigate to ServiceNow, or directly from the email, he can click on a link to be taken directly here, okay? So if he logs into ServiceNow, he can navigate to, he'll type in approval, he'll navigate to the My Approvals module under the Service Desk application, and it's going to give him a list of all of those approval records, okay? He's going to click on that approval link, and it's going to take him into the approval form for that request. If he clicked on this link, it would have done the exact same thing. If he needs to see the actual request record from the approval form, he can click on this information icon, and it's going to take him into the request record. Clicking on this link, click here to view request, is going to do the exact same thing. Okay? So he reviews it. Okay, 1193, ActioNet. Yeah, that looks good. I can approve that. So what Kurt's going to do is he'll come in, he'll click on approve. Now we'll see under our approvers related list, Kurt's now approved. Now we've got Doug Neubauer as our next approver, states requested. We can also verify that by clicking on the show workflow related link, and we'll see that our signature authority has approved. Now our purchasing manager needs to approve. Okay. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to do a little bit of magic, and I'm going to impersonate Doug. Trust me, there's a method to my madness why I'm stepping through all of this, because there's a piece that you're going to have to do as a requester once all the approvals have been received. So again, Doug's going to get that same approval email notification. He can either approve from email, or he can come into ServiceNow, and he's going to click on My Approvals. He's going to locate the approval record. Okay, this is our 1193 mouse. He can click on the description to expand to see the option selected. And at this point, Doug can click on Approve. Okay. I'm going to click on this link, and this is going to take us directly into our request record. Scrolling down to the approvers related list, Kurt's approved, Doug's approved, now Valenti needs to approve. We can look at the workflow and see we've got our two previous approvers. Now our GTL is going to come in, and they're going to do some work. So as the GTL, I'm going to go in, do a little bit of magic, and impersonate Valenti. So Valenti is going to receive that email notification. Request is pending approval. Valenti will click on My Approvals, click on the applicable link under the approval column, Valenti can expand this to see the option selected for that purchase request, but as the GTL, Valenti is going to have to come into this request, and when Valenti steps into the request, this message is going to display, okay? Our contracting officer field is now mandatory, so now Valenti is going to determine whether or not they need to approve or select a contracting officer to approve after they've approved the request. So they'll come in, they'll see what was ordered. Okay, we need one mouse, $11.93. Valenti is going to check to see if that mouse is in stock. If it's in stock in the warehouse, Valenti would check this box, click on Save, scroll down to the approval section, approve the request, and the next phase that would happen is this requester internal PO field is going to become mandatory. And if you are requesting an item through the ERB process, if your name is in this field, you're going to receive an email notification that you need to come in and enter the requester internal PO number in this field, okay? So I'm not going to say take from stock. We're going to go through the ERB process, and procurement will need to go through and order them out, okay? I'm going to go ahead and approve as Valenti. We're taken back to our request. Let me move this out of the way so you can see. So we're back in our request. Our approval field is now approved. Request state is now approved. We can click on our workflow, and because Valenti didn't specify a contracting officer, that approval was bypassed. So now the next phase is the requester is going to receive an email notification that they need to come in and they need to complete the requester internal PO. Okay. So this is an example of that notification that's going to be triggered once all the ERB approvals have been received. If you're requesting this item on your own behalf, you're going to receive this email notification, request has been approved, your request cannot be fulfilled until you've completed these steps. You're going to click on the link. The link is going to take you directly into this request record. Okay. If it makes a liar out of me. I'm probably going to have to log in. Okay. So you'd click on this link. It's going to take you directly into the request form, and this requester internal PO field is going to be mandatory. Okay. Let me change this to ITIL user, and I'm going to save this because I don't think George Jefferson has the appropriate rights to come in here. So let me impersonate my ITIL user. I'm going to click on my request. Okay, that's my request for my mouse. Again, I can expand the stage. I can see waiting for approval. That's still in progress. Got something going on there. Let me take a note of that. Okay. We can click on our REQ link, and it's going to take us into the request form. And since we're the requested for user, we're going to get that email notification. We need to come in here, and we need to enter our requester internal PO number. So I'm going to enter in the requester internal PO number, click on Save. Okay. And at this point, we're going to have our catalog task, one of 6, fired off for the procurement team to go in and do what they need to do, okay? So procurement would come in. I'm going to assign it to Dawn. Dawn's going to read the instructions. She's going to follow through and do what needs to be done to complete that request. When she's done, she'll come back in, change the state to close complete, provide any work notes, update, and when she's done, task 2 of 6 is going to be triggered, okay? Again, fulfillment, procurement's going to get an email notification. They need to go in and complete some task. Dawn's going to come in. She'll see what she needs to do. She'll need to complete these applicable fields. She'll change the state to close complete when she's done. Just a second, I just noticed something else. Okay. When she's completed all of the applicable fields, she'll leave a work note, set the state to close complete, click on update, and task 3 of 6 is going to be fired off. Okay. So the procurement team, they're going to go through this process to complete all of the instruction in the description field. Once they're done, they'll come back to the task, assign it to themselves, set the state to close complete, click on update, then we'll have 4 of 6 that gets triggered. Okay. Again, they'll receive a notification, task has been assigned to your group, close complete, assign it to Dawn, she's going to do what she needs to do. When that's done, she'll complete the task. Task 5 of 6 is going to get generated. Okay. Again, procurement is going to receive an email notification. Task has been assigned to your group. Dawn's going to come in, assign it to herself, close complete, provide any work notes, update it, and when all 6 of those tasks have been completed, did I not select close complete? Okay. So when all 6 of those tasks have been closed complete, our request state is going to move from approved to close complete. Our requester is going to receive an email notification that that request has been completed successfully, and that's basically the end of the fulfillment process for a purchase request. Any questions on how you would order an item, submit it through the ERB process, viewing the status of that request, and then the requester internal PO, that piece that you'll have to do if you're requesting an item on your behalf? No questions? Okay. All right. Well, that's all that I really have for you.